Mighty Pennsauken, Jersey in the building.
Yeah!
Thank you. Now, my God. First off, give it up for Darnell, you guys, for holding down the hosting duties tonight. Shout out to my boy. Alright, so if you guys are regulars at Voices in Power, I feel like you've kind of gotten familiar with me a little bit. I've been to a bunch of events by now over the course of the past year or so. And every time I'm here, I make it a point to touch the mic, kill it, hopefully leave a lasting impression, and make an impactful moment for you guys. If this is your first time seeing me perform, what's up? How you doing? Alright, so like I said, I've been to a bunch of events by now, and one of the questions, well, I get a chance to talk to some of you guys before and after the shows. And one of the questions I get asked a lot, people will come up to me and be like, yo man, so how'd you get the name ZER0? Like, what exactly does that represent? So I pull them to the side and I'll tell them like, man, you know, it's been a long story, but pretty much the ZER0, alright, I'm just messing with y'all. I just made that whole thing up. Nobody's ever actually asked me that question. I was just trying to sound cool. But truth be told, it does happen from time to time. Like, I'll meet someone new in life and I'll tell them I do poetry and I rap. And I'll tell them I go by the name ZER0, and they'll get interested. They'll be like, so what does that mean? Where'd you get that name from? I guess no one's ever asked me here because we're in a room full of creatives and everyone kind of goes by different names. Like, some are more subtle, some are wacky, but it's kind of just like no one really questions it. It's like, man, that's just their name, it's part of their art. But even though no one's asked me the question just yet, if one of y'all out there were to ask me like how I got my name, it's almost as if I had the fire poem that I've been rehearsing, ready to just throw out there. But that's only if I got my name.
How do you get your name?
Oh, bro, yo, thanks for asking, man. Yo, it's almost like we rehearsed that. We ain't rehearsed it. But, alright, so how I got my name. So, I'll put it to you guys like this. It's not my birth name, surprisingly. My mom and my dad weren't that creative when they named me. Even though that would have been dope for me to be chilling in the womb and my mom like rubbing her belly while eating some type of weird pregnancy food like apricots and peanut butter or something like that. I don't know if that's even that weird, but you know what I'm saying. It would have been cool, like her be rubbing her belly like, lo siento que él va a llamarse un cero. That would have been cool, but it ain't work out like that. I love the movie Holes, has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with the dog from Nightmare Before Christmas. And as much as I'm a fan of Dame Lillard, Russell Westbrook, and some of those NBA players, has nothing to do with those guys. So how'd I get the name ZER0? I'll put it to you guys like this. It's more than a number, and it's not just a word. It's not a character, gimmick, nickname, or alter ego. It's just 100% me. But why ZER0? Why, out of everything that exists in the realms of this universe, would I name myself after it as something that has a literal meaning of nothing? And if anything, if I'm gonna name myself after a number, why not something that pops more? Why not something with more flair, more pizzazz? Why not name myself 1? That way I could be like, you know, the chosen one. Or maybe 2, as in throw up the peace sign and be too cool. Or maybe 3, better yet, how about Trey? Named after my favorite shot on the court of my favorite sport, pull up, splash like Stephen Clay do out in the Bay, but forget the Warriors, cause it's Sixers all day. Trust the process. Or how about 4? Like, I feel like 4 would be fitting because before I was hitting open mics and dropping verses over beats, I was doing 4-Bar Friday on IG like almost every week. Or maybe I could even be Mr. High Five. You know, walking around showing love, spreading cheer. You know, I could even ice out my hand, get a bunch of bling, be like the 5th day of Christmas and hold up 5 golden rings. I thought that line was kind of whack, but I needed a segue, so if y'all thought it was whack, don't hold it against me. Anyway, speaking of rings, why not 6? But I ain't talking about Jordan. I'm talking about the jersey number the King picked when he took his talents down to South Beach. You see, Bron led the Heat to a couple of rings. He went back home and did his thing. He won 1 more, then left again, and I ain't even gonna finish the rest of that because I hate the Lakers. But LeBron's the GOAT, so respect. Anyway, why not 7? I mean, that is the number of luck, or maybe even 8. Like, I feel 8 would be fine. Like, I ate a good meal, I ate the competition, or I ate something else. That's for y'all with the dirty mind. Or how about 9, as in 1 before the dime, but if we gonna do 9, we might as well just do 10. But what's the perfect 10 without the 0? See, I'm gonna keep it 1-0-0 with y'all. I could do this witty wordplay and do this numbers game all day, but the bottom line is this. Before the Eagles won the Super Bowl and made it a cool catchphrase, I always associated the 0 with being representative of being the underdog. It's always represented every single person who's ever been passed on, overlooked, doubted, and for every single person that walks around with a giant chip on their shoulder just because they got something to prove to every single person who ever doubted them in the past. I'm not here to force an impactful moment or be a fake motivator or draw fake inspiration. I'm just here to speak my truth, and the 0 is my truth. And truth be told, even though we all want to have underdog stories, it takes a certain type of person to truly understand what it means to be an underdog. And that's not a bad thing, so don't take it as a diss. We all have different personalities, all have different upbringings, so we all are the way we are for a reason, but all I'm saying is the 0 is only for a certain type of person. For example, it's not for the person that got their DMs flooded with lustful emojis and compliments on IG from their admirers willing to do any and everything to get their attention. It's not for the clout chasers who post about their fancy lifestyles and rock all the latest apparel to their thousands of followers who they don't even know, just trying to get a quick come up. It's not for the corporate shills who have forgotten what human morale is and simply judge their success based off money and power. It's not for the fake, it's not for the followers, it's not for the bullies, it's not for Donald Trump, and it ain't for the Kardashians of the world. Matter of fact, the 0 is for the opposite. The 0 is for the outcasts, the offbeats, the rejects, the rebels, the quote-unquote losers, freaks, and weirdos of the world. It's for anybody who's ever struggled with self-esteem issues and has had insecurities and anxiety and depression just because it bugs them based off the lies that other people tell them. It's for all the kids that were told they were too quiet in school and needed to change up, but guess what? I was one of those kids that was too quiet, but whose voice got power now? And it's for every single person who was ever bullied and pushed aside because they didn't do what was quote-unquote cool, but yet stayed true to themselves and became the real cool kids and trendsetters. The 0 is for the underdogs, and the 0 is me. So before I get off the stage tonight, I just want to say this. Maybe next time you see that number or you hear that word, you'll think of what the literal meaning of it is and you'll think of nothing. Or maybe you'll think about the dude that hopped on stage or took the mic the day before Labor Day and talk about why he named himself that and what that number means to him. Because it's more than a number and it's not just a word. It's not a character, gimmick, nickname, or alter ego, just 100% me. I appreciate your time, man. Thank y'all so much.